Welcome to episode 2 of the COEHS podcast series, whatever this is.
Thank you
with
very
your co-hosts, Jillian and Samir.
Jillian and Samir.
Sounds so formal.
You're so formal.
And today we have Shelly Anderson
yes.
from ACS represent.
ACS,
Woohoo.
Not all campus sing.
Okay, yes. thank
Adolescent Career and Special Education.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You've been here for 3 years, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I hit my 3-year mark in January.
Okay.
When I started, thank you.
Yeah.
When I started here, I started on the first day of the spring semester, meaning like the first day students came.
Oh.
I do not recommend that for anyone
Yeah,
that
no.
starts working here. It is wild and crazy.
It's very chaotic.
Yeah.
Yes. And I did not have a computer for almost 2 weeks.
Wow.
So,
And I think it's because I'm brand new to Murray State. Like I had
Takes a
never,
while to get into the
yeah,
system
yeah.
and
I had to get an M
everything.
number, I had to get everything. So it takes a bit. I think if you've been here, you've been around,
Yeah.
it's quicker because
Yeah.
you already have an M number. But
Yeah.
I did not exist at all in the system prior to. I actually just did things that didn't need. And I mean, people are trying to show me what to do. It's hard to do when you don't like have a computer to actually do them on.
yeah.
So.
It's a very sink or swim situation.
Yeah. Starting here is a very sink or swim situation. There's a lot to learn when you first start.
Yeah, so if you were talking to someone who was just getting on board at Murray State as an admin assistant, what would be like your words of advice for that individual?
Okay. So words of advice is do all the trainings that the university has. I think they have 3. HR does 1. Accounting, I don't know if it's accounting that does the banner training, but they do
Yes,
1.
yep.
Do all the trainings you can find.
Everything.
Thing that
Yeah.
everybody told me that I didn't think I believed, but it is completely and utterly true. You have to make it through a whole year. It's going to take you a year because you have to go through the whole cycle of how everything runs because my position specifically is very, I guess you'd say circular, right? You do a lot of the same
Right.
things each semester, but it's not exactly the same. You need to go through a whole run before you're going to feel like you have it.
Right.
And you're never going to have it. Things change, but whole year. And it's okay. There's going to be people to help. And I think one of the things someone told me a lot, because I'm a type A personality, I'm a perfectionist, I want things to be right. They told me, this is academia. If you make a mistake, no one's going to die.
That's right.
And if someone doesn't get paid, they're going to tell you. So, like, it's nothing that you can't fix.
Yeah.
So, trying to get rid of the overwhelmed bit of it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm picking up on is that realizing that the learning curve is large
It is.
and being okay with asking for help and maybe potentially even making some mistakes.
Exactly. The other thing is, one of the things I started, and I try to share it with people when I get here, is if you find the right people to call that know the information, you can find it. So, like, I have a list I accumulated throughout the time I was here of, for purchasing cards, this person helps. For accounting, this person. Banner questions, call this person. Like, all these extensions, everybody will help. I've never called anyone, and they say, oh, no, I can't answer that. Sometimes you have to, like, go through a couple people to find the right person, but they want to help you. They want you to be successful. It's not they're not going to give you the answer. Sometimes it takes a few people to find the right person, but that's another thing. Make sure you have a great relationship with your chair. As an admin, like, having a good working relationship with your chair is going to make your life wonderful. And I have a great relationship with Dr. Parr. She's awesome. So
How does one go about creating a solid relationship with their supervisor?
I think it really comes down to, like, you need to work on building it. So you want to have transparency, ask questions. I think meeting regularly is a good thing. So, like, Dr. Parr and I met regularly. We don't meet as regularly now because I've been here 3 years, and I tend to, I know a lot, and I just usually email her or chat her questions that I have to move forward. But just, like, having those meetings. And, I mean, Dr. Parr and I had an interesting...
Yeah, you guys had an initial.
Yeah, so
go.
I started in January as the admin, and she became chair of her department in July. So we were learning together.
Right.
Like, there was stuff I learned, because there were a lot of admins here that were helpful, definitely helped me out. So we were learning together. So it's just, I think it's just being a support system. I'm super fortunate because she's great. So we kind of grew in that way together. So, but transparency, communicating with them, I think that's respect. I mean, she has a lot of jobs that are above what I do, and there's a lot of little things that I do that I know the intricacies and she knows about them, but I know like super specifics when it comes down to the paperwork.
It's got to be a collaboration between the two.
Yeah. So, and I mean, honestly, I couldn't say enough great things about Dr. Parr. So
yeah, she's good people.
Yeah, she is great people. So, but yeah, that'll help you building good relationships at the university as a whole. So like, if you have a question, email someone, GChat them, give them a call. But like, you gotta be respectful. Everybody's busy here. There's a lot of work that goes around. So building good relationships. I'm also an extreme rule follower.
So that's
I love rules.
Having structure.
Yeah, I like rules. I follow the rules, all those things.
All right.
Before you came here, you taught, correct?
I did. So before I moved to Kentucky, I taught. I mean, I substitute taught a very little bit in Katie's before I came here, but it was pandemic.
Yeah.
So I came here in June of 2019, and then pandemic hit in March. So I substitute taught from like August to March. So super short here. Pennsylvania. I worked at a middle school for 12 years, and I did day-to-day substitute teaching, long-term sub, and I started out as a grant. It was called the Educational Assistance Program. It was a state-funded grant to help students that struggle on standardized testing or were high risk to struggle on standardized testing. And like, you had to be a certified teacher to do it. And we pushed into the classroom, and then we also pulled out at the end of the day.
Okay, so what does that mean, you push in and pull out?
So during the regular school day, we don't want to like take students out of their math or the English class, because that's what we focused on, because that's the big standardized testing, especially in middle school. So during the day, you want to push in, meaning you're going to work with the main teacher in that class. Okay. So it can look like a bunch of different things. We built relationships with the teachers, so they knew us. They were excited to have us in their classroom. So sometimes it would be working with a small group that was struggling, and it might not just be my students specifically. It would be whoever needed it, or sometimes just like a co-teach situation. Sometimes I would lead the lesson. She'd walk around and help. I'm speaking with a specific teacher that I worked with, because we had a really great working relationship. So in those situations, when we pushed in, it was like a co-teach type of model. Now, the pull-out is when we'd have small groups of students that would come down at the very end of the day. They had a flex period, which was either for homework or, help with whatever they need help on. We would pull them out. They'd come and see us, depending on the day of the week, and we'd focus on specific lessons, usually like a math lesson or an English lesson, and sometimes it was like test-taking skills, because that's something that's important, learning like good test-taking skills.
And how effective was this grant? Did you see kind of like
I think there was, it was like multifaceted, because a lot of the students we saw the school district I worked at was in a rural area. We did have a high, low income population, some homelessness and everything like that. So we were building relationships with students that might not have had the best home life. So even like we were building relationships with students that were struggling in class and sometimes were difficult in class, if that makes sense. Like they weren't paying attention. So you could build relationships because you see them differently. You see them outside of the classroom.
Yes, some of those intangible markers, right?
Yeah.
So that it wasn't necessarily a deliverable for the grant, but you were seeing some additional benefits to connecting with those students. Yeah,
like just building relationships when you have a student that has like no one at home and no one that's like a regular part of their life. So I think it was beneficial to them, some of them in that way. But then also I saw students like excel in subjects. I remember one of my favorite moments was I had a 7th grade student. It was math, and it was during the pull-out time. And we had been working on, as a group, the same math concept. And math's tough for some people. So same math concept, and he had been struggling, and like I literally got to see his aha moment.
Yeah.
The moment where he got it, the moment where he was like, I think I can take over this lesson and teach the rest of them, because sometimes that's better than me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm good at math. I've always have been. So sometimes having someone that struggled with math that got it helps, because they can see it in a different way. I can. So
One of the great things about being an educator, you get to experience those moments and see how your work is paying off in the minds of a different person.
That's what I miss the most, is working with the students.
Now you're working with the professors in a different way.
I am. I'm working with the trying to make sure I have a mic on me. I'm working with my faculty, but I mean I get to see students too, because a lot of my student workers are all students here, and I have a mix. Some of them are education majors, and some of them are different majors. So I still get an aspect of it. And then I have like my faculty member that is the complete and utter definition of middle school educator.
Who's that?
Dr. G, Dr. Gomez. I think he's the perfect embodiment of middle school. So like everything that I loved about middle school, I feel like he has that level of energy that like gets people excited.
Yeah, you gotta add that. I get think with like elementary school and middle school, you have to bring a level of energy out. Probably for high school too, but there needs to be some level of engagement with the students to ensure that they are paying attention in class, that they're off of their devices, and that they're just, locked in.
Yeah, devices are a whole. I mean, that wasn't. I mean, when
Those
I
are
was.
the thing. No, yeah.
It was when I was in high school and middle school. There were no devices. Now you have to really get the attention. You need to have that energy to get them excited.
I remember in high school we had to turn in our phone. Specifically, my biology class. If we turned in our phone every day, then we could get a bonus point added to our test.
Oh, a bonus point.
So that was like an incentive for us to put away our device.
I didn't even have a cell phone until I was 17.
Yeah, I was supposed to get one until I was 18, but then
I'm old.
Mine was like those like Nokia block phones
I remember.
that you just got minutes put on.
Oh yeah.
And if I ran out of minutes, and the only reason I had it was because I drove. If I ran out of minutes,
you're done.
I was done. My parents were like, "This is for an emergency. If you use all your minutes, you're responsible for buying the rest of the minutes."
Let's see. I think I was in my early 20s maybe when we first got our cell phone, and that's when you still had to pay for texts. And so every now and then I would send like a random text to a buddy of mine and be like, I made you use 2 cents to open up this text. That was the text.
Yeah. In college, I got in a lot of trouble from my parents for text messaging. Because you had to pay per text.
You had to pay to send a text, and you had to pay to read a text.
Receive a text, yeah.
I remember.
You remember that?
Well, I have older sisters and brothers, and then my mom, because my mom, the first phone that I remember that she had was a pink BlackBerry, and that was going to be my phone.
Yeah,
that was the dream.
Legit, right?
That was the dream phone.
Oh, I had in college the pink Razor. Do you remember the pink Razors?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like the epitome of phone.
Well, there was that, and then one of my sisters had like the chocolate Motorola.
Oh, the chocolates. I had a chocolate.
Oh wait, is that the ones that flipped up this way?
So you could text this way, or you could text. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pink version of that.
Oh.
Yeah, so I went from the pink Razor to that.
Look at you.
I know, they were always pink.
Those are at conventions, so you brought up conventions earlier, but that's not necessarily the type of conventions that you go to.
Good villain. But conventions, I generally, the ones I've been going to is mostly the Vampire Diaries. So I went to quite a few of them. This is only the second one I'm going to be working, and then I'm going to work another one in June. Mm-hmm. But, like, going to them, like, you make all these friends, and, like, when I went, the volunteers were awesome. The volunteers are great. They make your day, you know what I mean? They make sure that, So getting to be one of the volunteers
That's what drove you to be on this side of the convention?
Yeah, I mean, there were quite a few volunteers that were super helpful because it gets crazy.
Volunteer, do you get any benefits or perks?
Well, you get to go.
Well,
because it costs to usually go to any type of convention ranging on, so like you pay for your ticket to see the panels and go there and get in to see the vendors and all that stuff. And then sometimes, like, that's the main perk because you get in and then they like you can purchase items still. Like, hey, they're like, just don't get more than like 2 to 3 items because you're supposed to be working it. And then this is a great group of.
Can't walk around with all these shopping bags.
Well, no, it's more about like you have to wait in line if you want a photo. They don't want you to be away from like you're working.
Your post, yeah.
Yeah, like come on, if you purchase 10 photos, are you ever going to be like where you're supposed to be working?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the other thing is this is a group of women that met each other at conventions, and they built this company, and it's just been growing.
That's pretty awesome. This is just like a cool story.
It is. It's really cool.
When you're working, too, like if you're in a certain...
Like if you're in the panel room, you get to watch all the panels.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like if you're in the panel room, you get to watch all the panels. If you're in the autograph room, you get to see the actors. They ask that you don't like chat them up. Obviously, other people are they're paying to meet them, so you don't want to like take over the time. But like stuff like that. Yeah. And I feel like just being a part of it's a lot of fun. It becomes a family.
So what about you? You have any desire to jump into acting or anything like that?
I don't think I have that skill.
Well, you were in a play not too long ago.
I was in a play. So, I mean, that's not like acting.
Wow,
but
okay.
I was
It's still acting.
Yeah. I mean, it's acting, but not like...
It was the theater.
It was the theater. It's a different level of acting.
More sophisticated, huh?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
I was in my first Playhouse in the Park play in... When was it? February. Like
you were in it.
I was in it. When was it? I'm like, it's also... Yeah, they did Mary Poppins. I was in the ensemble for that. Was a sold out show. Yeah. It was fun. It was exhausting. It was like an every night. I went home, ate as fast as I could, and went to rehearsal. Yeah. Busy, but it was fun. A lot of good people in it. Yeah.
How long did it take you to prep? From initial auditions all the way through first show? How long of a process was that?
So auditions were right before, I think they were in December. I think the auditions were in December, I think.
All right. So that's a good.
So we didn't start rehearsal until January because you have a lot of people that like college students that might have been involved, other people that might not be in the area. So at least for the ensemble, our rehearsals really started at the beginning of January. I'm sure the people that were like leads were meeting beforehand because they had a lot more to learn. So, but it was like in the beginning, couple of weeks, it was every night we were learning our music and our songs and everything like that. And then it was a little bit like you might go 2 to 3 days a week for like certain scenes. And then once we were getting closer, it was like we're blocking the scenes, we're running the scenes, and then it just is like every night.
So what are some other things that you're interested in, some other hobbies?
Well, my husband has always been into, and I've recently got into, Legos.
Legos, okay.
Yeah. Specifically Legos about shows and movies we like. My husband is a huge movie buff. So I've always been purchasing him Legos, but they've been sitting not put together because I don't ever build Legos with him. So we've just started putting them together. Nice. So something fun we do is we watch whatever, while we're putting together Lego, we have on TV or whatever, cool. Whatever show or movie the Lego is related to. Harry Potter's a big one.
Harry Potter.
Lots of Harry Potter Legos.
There's got to be like a lot of sets for those.
Oh my gosh, so many Harry Potter Legos. We also had a Fantastic Beasts one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one was really fun. We just put that one together. It was have you seen Fantastic Beasts?
I haven't seen that one, no.
You should.
Okay.
Although some people don't like it.
Okay.
I liked it.
It was the case.
The briefcase?
The briefcase with all the animals in it. Yeah, with all the creatures in it, magical creatures. So
that's pretty awesome.
It was a fun one.
So it's like an open case and there's stuff inside of it?
So it's like I built, like my husband was building one portion, I was building another portion. So you get to build like some of the creatures that are big ones from the movie. And then like you're building a case that like the top comes up and then the sides come out to make it bigger.
What do you do with the Legos after they're put together? Do you get to Godzilla it and
So you display them?
We'd love to. Currently, we're just setting them wherever they fit in our house.
Okay.
The goal is, because we've been in our house for, I don't know, about 2.5 years, and the office space is still in transition.
Okay.
So once we have that finished,
space.
we're going to have a place to display it.
Do you never like just drive silence?
Ooh.
I like that sometimes. When
I'm driving,
radio on or anything like
I
that.
want to like belt. I want to sing at the top of my lungs.
I do that as well, but there are times when it's just like, it's been a long day and you just want to meditate almost while you're driving.
That's like the best part though. Like that when you're like, it's a crap day, then you want to pick like a good song and then just like scream.
That's true. Sometimes.
Yeah. I like sound when I'm driving as well. I remember at one point, I think I was in college. No, after college. My car stereo was broken, so there was no sound.
Oh.
So
That'd be hard.
what if you didn't have the choice?
Yeah.
May have started singing to myself randomly. Luckily, no one was in the car with me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But, yeah.
How'd you end up in Murray?
Oh, how'd I end up in Murray?
That's a very good story.
Okay, so I say to people, why would anyone end up in Western Kentucky from northeastern Pennsylvania? No offense to Western Kentucky, it's quite lovely here.
Florida, and then
Oh,
ask me,
yeah.
why are you going to Murray?
So, like, how do you end up? The answer is love.
Yeah, your answer is way better than my answer.
Yeah. So, yours is work. Mine is love. So, in my, late 20s, early 30s, having a hard time, meeting people naturally. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Was on some dating site, not the apps, because I'm too old for the apps, I guess.
I don't think
I'm too old, but apps weren't as big yet.
Yeah, I think it's a recent phenomenon.
Yes,
Yeah.
apps are a recent phenomenon. When I was doing it, it was the one I went on wasn't any of the big name ones, but eHarmony was big,
Sure,
Match.com was big. Yeah. So I was just on a dating site, one of the free ones. I was not going to pay for that. I wasn't in the state where I'm I really need to find someone yet. So I was on and off the dating sites, Definitely had some conversations with some wackadoos.
Yeah.
So some random guy from Western Kentucky sends me a message on this dating site. And I wasn't going to answer it except for he was dressed up as the Doctor from Doctor Who in his profile picture.
Yeah.
Didn't have that much information on his actual page. So I responded to his message.
That was intriguing to you.
It was intriguing. I loved.
Yeah,
because I had recently gotten super into Doctor Who. Loved the Doctor. So I love science fiction. Mm-hmm. So it just was okay, I'll respond to this guy. We can chat. I thought nothing was ever going to come on this. I mean, I wouldn't.
Kentucky,
Western Kentucky. So it's not even Western Kentucky or Eastern Kentucky and Western Pennsylvania. No, we got Northeast Pennsylvania, Southwest Kentucky. You're 13 to 14 hours away. That's far. So he was going to get rid of his site after we were chatting for a little bit. And I'm he asked for my phone number. And I'm no, you cannot have my phone number. Way too many danger moments, crazy people. So I'm you can't have my phone number. You can't add me as a friend on Facebook, but you can send me messages on Facebook Messenger. So that was in July. So we chatted back and forth. Like I said, I thought nothing was going to come off on it. So, and then I think in September or the very end of September, I finally gave him my number because
the relationship had grown. I mean,
it had grown, and I didn't even realize that it had grown until I tried to message him, and it wouldn't go through. And he responded back the next day. I'm what happened? He's oh, my Facebook was hacked. So then
that's kind of when you knew there was a little bit of heartache.
Yeah. It was the moment where I'm oh, I was a little bummed I wasn't going to get to talk to him. So I gave him my phone number, and then it just really exploded from there. And we started texting regularly. Our first phone conversation was in October. He had just gone to a haunted hayride here. I think Town Falls is where he was at. And I was at some friends at a Halloween party. And then we talked on the phone, and then it grew into FaceTiming, because that's one of the nice things about technology. You can see someone. And then in December, he decided he was going to fly himself up to Pennsylvania to meet me. And then that was it. It kind of like we became an official couple in December, and then we went back and forth. I came to Katie's, Kentucky. He came up to Pennsylvania, and then that following August, he proposed. And then the plan was always that I would move to Kentucky, and I ended up in June of 2019. We got married, and I moved to Katie's, Kentucky. And then after I got my job here at Murray State, about 3 years later, yeah, we bought a house here. Ended up in Murray. So that is how someone from northeastern Pennsylvania ends up.
Yeah, love.
It's a really good answer when people ask you.
Absolutely. Let's close this out with some rapid fire questions for you. All right?
I'm scared. Rapid fire. Okay, let's see if I can answer questions quickly. Right.
Okay. Next place you want to travel?
Australia.
All right. Next book you want to read?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. There's so many books.
Stumped.
Yeah. Got a good recommendation?
No.
No. I'm like trying to think of my list, like my stack of books to be read.
What kind of books do you like?
All different types. Some big science fiction, fantasy books. Science fiction, fantasy. Yeah, science fiction, fantasy. I have a whole big TBR list of books. But yeah, I don't know exactly which one I want to read next.
Yeah.
What are you reading right now?
Oddly enough, I am in between books.
What's the last book you read?
Last book I read. Hold on.
Get it somehow.
Last book. Oh my gosh. Last book I read. Oh, my husband and I were reading through the Harry Potter books together. We finished the last book in the Harry Potter series.
Okay. Right.
So that was probably the last one that like I read. It was Harry Potter.
Favorite food?
Potatoes in any shape or form.
All right.
Favorite meal?
You want me to say potatoes in any shape or form?
You're just going to eat potatoes, like French fries, baked potato?
Yeah, I love potatoes. Honestly, love potatoes. Favorite meal? I would have to go with something that is pasta related. Probably like an Alfredo.
You could have gone with gnocchi. That's like a potato
and love
noodle
gnocchi.
together, right?
I was going to say gnocchi.
Yeah.
I like, pierogies actually.
Pierogies, yeah.
Love some pierogies. Yeah. That's a good one too. So, yeah. Usually some type of pasta. So we can do pierogies. We can do gnocchi. Gnocchi's good.
I know. So
I want some. I don't have any. Can you even get that here?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay. Pierogies, you can only find frozen ones here.
Yeah. Well, there's that Italian shop. They might sell it.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
DeBentos.
Bentos.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like kind of off of the square.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, favorite restaurant. You want like one here or like
Wherever. Maybe it's in Pennsylvania.
We're
maybe.
learning about you.
Yeah.
I like mom and pop shops in general. So like I don't know if I can tell you like a specific restaurants that is my favorite, but I like places that are like I don't like chains are okay, but like I like finding myself a mom and pop shop. Around here I really like the Willow Bistro.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Willow Bistro's
good.
Yeah.
Willow Bistro's good. So
Yeah.
around here, Willow Bistro. Some of my favorite shops that were in Pennsylvania are not open anymore.
Yeah.
Small businesses suffered during COVID, so Willow Bistro here. Ooh, get their strawberry shortcake. Free plug there.
At Willow Bistro?
Yes.
Oh, I never had their
You
desserts.
Need to have their strawberry shortcake.
All right.
It is probably the best strawberry shortcake I've ever had in my life.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
I love some strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Now
2
I'm
times.
hungry.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
We talked about some things we didn't last time.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me. This
Thank
was
you.
fun.